Yeah, right. Fine then. Right. So yesterday we have stopped our discussion at snapshots, and let us start our discussion from snapshots today. Right. Snapshots. Okay. Azure Disk snapshots. What is difference between VMware snapshot and Azure snapshot? Your name suggests, right? VMware snapshot is something which Azure snapshot is a disk backup of Azure, right? In VMware also we have a way of basically taking a copy of that disk at that moment. That is called as VMware stuff, right? Both are kind of backups. In AWS also we have snapshots. Snapshot is not a term for only one stuff. You go to any cloud, you'll have a term called a snapshot. Okay. Copy of the disk at that particular moment is basically called a snapshot. All right. I have one machine already over here. Let me see. Yes. For this machine, I have a disk. Okay. All right. I would want you to go through this article, which will try to tell how to take a snapshot, whether using CLI or PowerShell, whatever it is. Right? Yeah. Right. So this one, and these three. These three are topics of discussion today. So how do I create an incremental snapshot? Okay. So okay. And how do I basically backup manage disks? Okay. If I want to take a backup of a managed disk, unmanaged disk, which is your disk from storage account. Okay. How do you basically do that? Okay. Right. So let us get started. Okay. So if you see over here, he's trying to tell that whenever you say create snapshot, it will ask you for the uh, resource group, and then it will try to tell you your snapshot's name, and then it will ask you for a type. Okay. Now that is exactly what I'm going to do over here. I'll go to this disk. Okay. I'll say create a snapshot. Okay. I'll try to, okay, let me create a new resource group for a snapshot. Okay. So snapshot demo. Okay. And then basically whenever I create a stuff. I'll call it as Nagios snapshot. Next, do you want to create any tags? We have done this activity yesterday, but let me go ahead and create it. First, let me have one snapshot. Okay, let this be finished. Okay, good. Now I have a snapshot, okay, which is of this disk, which I can export it to the format so that people can download it, okay, or preserve it. This export will give a URL, right? And now let me go to virtual machines, Nagios, disks. I'll select the disk, okay, and then I'll try to create a snapshot again. Okay, it is not DNS, it is snapshot demo. Okay, 1 minute. Mm, oh man, right, right. They have not given this feature in portal yet, which is in preview mode, but still we can create this. You have to just use that URL. Okay, now yeah, I'm going with pay as you go snapshot demo. Okay, Nagios, and it is asking whether what is that you want to basically create. Do you want to create a full backup or do you want to create an incremental backup? Nagios incr. Okay, so source disks, there are no managed disks that are available, so you have to create this managed disk in a particular resource group. For example, we have this over here and my location is central US. Now if you select this, are you seeing an Nagios disk over here? Okay, so I'll select this Nagios disk, and then it will try to tell whether you want a full backup or an incremental backup, right? So prior to this, Azure didn't had an option. The only option in Azure to do this activity was basically from command line, right? Now I can create either a full backup or incremental backup. And over here, whenever you are creating a backup by default in Azure, not going with that link, it is all full backups. It is all full backups, right? So in Azure, snapshots are full by default with Azure portal. If you want to create an incremental backup of the managed disk, then use this URL to log in into Azure and then you should be able to create incremental backups as well from portal. Okay, refer here. Okay, so what is this page? This, okay, refer here for complete documentation, right? So yes, you can. There are many tools for automating this snapshot creation. Okay, not only Packer, there are many ways of doing it. You can do it from Azure CLI. You can use Azure Azure PowerShell for that. You can write SDK for that, right? There are many ways of doing that. Okay, right. So now do we understand the story? In Azure, basically the snapshots are full by nature, but if you want to change, you have to use this URL, or else, okay, we'll be looking at CLI and PowerShell. You can do the same thing from PowerShell. Okay, so once you install the PowerShell, then basically you can use something like this. Okay, right. Okay, fine then. Now unmanaged disk backup, I'm not interested because we'll not be doing this. This is used uh, basically if you are dealing with one machine and two machine scenarios, but in reality that will not be the case. We'll be learning something called as Azure Site Recovery for this. Unmanaged disk backups. Okay, refer here. Okay, right. Okay, I'm not interested in unmanaged disk backups. Right. The reason why I'm not interested in that is there is a better way of dealing this in Azure. That's the only thing. That's the reason why we are not doing this. Okay, if this was the only way, we could have done that. Okay, right, fine. Now, if you look into disks, okay, we have learned about this. We have learned about page blobs, okay, in storage accounts, which can be attached to the virtual machine. There is a whole concept of speed there, IOPS. Okay, we have looked at what are the disk sizes that are supported in premium disk tier, ultra disk tier, right? We have looked into all of that. Okay, now this is not the only storage option in Azure. We have many other storages also. If you remember on the day when we started this discussion, disk was one of them, but we had something like blob storage. We had something like the table storage. We had something like the queue storage. We had something like the file storage, Azure File Share, which was a network disk. And that is exactly what we are going to do right now. Okay, right. So before I get into that, there is some question. Let me have a look into it. Screen is presenting with delay. Oh, is it? Is it happening to someone? Is there delay between my voice and screen? Is it happening to everyone? No, right. Yeah, Sridhar, then it is a problem only at your end because others are not seeing that. Yeah. Okay. Now, before getting into the stuff, experiment. This is an experiment which I want us to start with. Create a resource group. This is the first one. Create a resource group, and then create a storage account. We all know how to do this. And create one Linux VM and create one Windows VM. Okay, you can go to free services and then create, or you can say select the machines type as B1S over here. Okay, here also B1S is fine, but if you want, you can go ahead and do this. Can you do this activity? I want you to create a resource group. I want you to create a storage account. I want you to create one Linux VM and one Windows VM and try to create everything in one resource group because deleting is easy. That's it. That's the only reason for that. Yes, guys, can you do this? All right. We will try now. Srikanth, I think there is nothing to try over here. You have to basically this. I have not asked anything about storage. These are all things we have done in the classroom. Yeah, please do this. I am giving you basically how much time will it take? Approximately 10 minutes it will take. So 7:15 I'll do it. And there is one person with a name. What is it? Webinar registrant, Ramesh Reddigar. Right? Try to give your name, sir. Webinar registrant sounds like a very awkward name. Okay. You're not, there is nothing to hide over here. Try to give your name. There is no problem with that. Whenever you're logging in from tomorrow, right? Yes. Go ahead, do that activity. Guys, are you starting? Is everyone doing the stuff or do you want me to do it? Okay, go ahead. So 10 minutes, I'll not disturb you. After that, I'll basically try, ask you to do something. Let us see how it goes. Yeah. When you are trying to create the resource group, it seems the tab you selected for subscription has disabled. That means you have to create pay as you go. I think your 1 month subscription might have been finished. Yeah. Okay. The story is very simple. I've asked you to create a virtual machine, a Linux virtual machine, and a Windows virtual machine. That is simple. Okay. And then I have asked for creating a storage account. Okay. So let me go ahead and create a storage account. Okay. So I'll be using the existing snapshot demo storage account. Okay. Storage account's name is Qt storage for file share. I'm giving that account name with Central US. Okay. Now, okay, I'll speak about Azure file share. Okay. So, right. No, for Azure pay as you go account, you will not get any bill until unless you have used it. Okay. Right. So you have a VM, two VMs, three, and let us say four VMs. Okay. And each VM will have, right, virtual disk. Okay. So this VM will have its own virtual disk. Okay. This VM will have its own virtual disk. Okay. Now it can have a OS disk, data disk, and a temp disk. So this is what we have learned, right? Now, can this disk be attached to a machine to this machine? The answer is yes. For that, what you have to do is you have to disconnect this disk, unattach this disk, and attach it to this machine. That is the only way. So at any moment, your disk is basically being connected to only one machine. Now we have something called as network disk. Okay. So this is a disk which is connected to a network. Okay. And this disk can be mounted. This disk can be mounted by multiple virtual machines at one shot. Right. And this is possible with a network disk. Network disk or NAS or SAN kind of a storage. In the case of Azure, we call it as Azure file share. Okay. So these are your managed or unmanaged disks. Okay. And remember, this Azure file share is not for operating system. Okay, it is not a OS disk, it is an extra disk. Remember, in your organizations, you have something like Z drive, P drive, different kinds of drives, so that you can hold different data in your organization, which has to be shared across multiple team members. Okay, right. So this is exactly what an Azure file share is. Yeah. When we say unmanaged, it is, yeah, unmanaged is storage account disk. Yes. Managed is a disk which you have created directly. Yeah. And this disk is basically supports SMB 3.0 protocol. SMB 3.0 protocol. Okay. And the best part is, okay, let us assume that, okay, this is all uh, let me go with Azure. Let us assume that this is the Azure cloud. Okay, this is cloud, right? You can connect this file share, okay, to your, okay, uh, on premise, which is your office. This is your organization network. I'm calling it as on premise. When I say on premise, okay, this is your office. Okay, I'll show you, okay, what are the three possible ways of basically connecting this file share. Okay, let me reduce this one size. Okay, so Azure file share can be connected to your on-premise using three ways. Okay, the first one is using public endpoint. Public endpoint means your Azure file share will have a URL and your server. Okay, your server in your office, okay, can mount this drive, can mount this drive using that public endpoint. Okay, the other one is, okay, I'll go it like this. The other one is, okay, express route. Okay, the third one is private endpoint. This is site to site VPN. So your server in your office can also use this Azure file share, can also use this Azure file share with three different kinds of connectivities. One is it can directly access it over the public internet. Okay, right? The second one is using site to site VPN, and the third one is using something called as express route. Okay, so why do I use a Azure file share? What are the basic use cases of Azure file share? Okay, so there are two popular use cases. One is you want to share the content across multiple systems. Okay, right? So the second one is basically you are moving to cloud, and once you are moving to the cloud, you want to move all of the data that is present in your on campus or on premise into cloud. So then the first thing which you would do is you will move all of the data to one of the storage server in your organization, and from there you will try to sync it to there. That is Azure file sync. We'll speak about Azure file sync. Okay, but am I clear about this network disk which you are creating is not only within Azure, it can be used in your organizational networks also. Am I clear with that point? Yes or no? Okay. So Azure file share is a network storage using SMB 3.0 protocol. Azure file share can be mounted within Azure and for on premises. Okay. So review dot slash images slash, is it AZ storage? Yeah, AZ storage 11.png. Okay. So am I clear on this? Yes. Now Azure file storage documentation. I'll go to the Microsoft documentation as always. Okay. Now if you go into this, he will try to tell you the basic scenarios of Azure file storage. We use it for replacing on-premise storage services. We use it while migrating it to the cloud. There are different benefits which you can get out of it and all of that. Okay. So refer here for official documentations. Right. And understand one thing, whenever you are trying to basically plan for Azure file storage, okay, there is one port called as 445, and that should be opened in the case of public endpoint, right? If the 445 port is not open, it might not work out. Site to site VPN also requires it, but if you go with tunneling, you can exclude that. That's what the documentation says. Okay. So whenever you're using Azure file share in your on campuses, on premises, then ensure that using public endpoint, we need a 445 port. Right. Now, Azure file share, okay, can be restricted to access, okay, within Azure and also on premises. So you can tell that, okay, don't give the access of Azure file share to everyone. I can, you basically, uh, you can restrict the access of Azure file share to the users, right? To the users, right? So how do you restrict it? Using authentication and authorization. Remember, we have spoken about identity earlier. Okay, you can use that identity, and then storage account gives us a way called as shared keys. Shared keys, which we have not discussed earlier, but we can go with that shared keys. Okay, so whenever you are basically want to give an access to others, the security aspect of it, okay, we can we have to basically ensure that, okay, we are giving an access to an active directory based, right, Azure active directory, or we have something called as Azure shared keys, or to simplify it, let me call it as Azure storage account keys. Okay, right. So you can manage the full permission or access to the users by using this access keys. Am I clear on this? Okay. And Azure file share can be created in storage account, okay, in two different modes. One is general purpose v2. We have already done this, we have already looked into this. The other one is file storage accounts. So while you are creating a storage account, okay, my account kind has to be storage v2, right? If I go to the premium mode, then I can use something called as file storage. So let me go with general purpose v2, and in a, yeah, I think I can go with a standard mode. Okay, so I've not still not discussed what is this cool and hot and all that stuff. We'll discuss that. Okay, now are you seeing network? It speaks about, do you want to give a public endpoint? Do you want to give a public endpoint only to selected networks, or do you want to give a private endpoint? Private endpoint is connectivity from your on-premise or whatever network to Azure file storage using some sort of VPNs. Okay, so then it is trying to tell, okay, do you want to Azure large file shares? Okay, so if the data is more than 100 terabytes, it is disabled. Okay, if you want, you can enable this. Okay, so secure transfer is required. If you disable it, it will become unsecure. I would not recommend that. Okay, right. So right, I'll go over here, and then let me go over here and then create a storage account. Let us wait for this account to be created. Okay, right. So I'll go to storage account, and in storage account this time I'm interested in this area. So in storage account, our area of interest at this moment is file shares. All right, it is AWS. Let me go to Azure March 20 storage. Yes. Okay, right. Create a storage account. Okay, now in storage account, navigate to Azure or file share. Okay, right. So this is 12. Fine. Okay, I think I've saved it right already. Yeah. Now if you click on Azure file shares, then it will ask you don't have any file shares at this moment. I can click over here and then say that I want a new file share. Then you can give a name of your file share. Name of my file share is, let me call it as deliverables. And what is the quota which you want to give? Okay, if you look over here, the quota is somewhere set to 5 terabytes. In the case of standard, if you go to the premium, you can make it approximately 100 terabytes in size. Okay, right, fine. Let me click on create. So it says it has successfully created a storage. Now let me select this. Okay, so are you seeing over here also has snapshots? Okay, I have properties and I have action access control. If you click on properties, it will try to tell you. Okay, so this is the URL of your stuff. Okay, and are you saying connect? If you click on connect, it tries to tell that if you want to connect this onto your Windows system, then use this. Okay, and then if you have 445 port issue, then he's trying to tell that okay, you can use the following way to resolve that. Following way to resolve that issue, right? Okay. Now there is something for Linux. So if you want to mount it onto a Linux, this is the command which you can use. If you want to mount it onto the Mac OS, then this is the command which you want to do, right? So I'll go to Z drive. Okay. And then are you seeing this? Okay. Let me go to Windows PowerShell and then execute this command. Okay. 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 Z I think is a problem. So let me change this because I think I've used Z already to something else. Let me try to change this Z to X. Okay. Now it says that you have X drive added. Let us see whether I'm able to see something called as X drive over here. Okay. So if you see over here, Z drive is mounted over here. I got to know what is the problem. Right. There will be something called as disconnect. Are you seeing anything called as disconnect over here? Yeah. Right. Okay. Now, since I've done it from PowerShell, I'll be able to only see it over here. So I can get into X drive. In X drive, I can say new item. I'm just writing in PowerShell, new item test.txt. Now, if you look into the directory items, it has one file which is called as test.txt. I can mount the same drive on the Linux machine by using this command line. So you have to basically get into etc credentials. Okay. And then if you copy this, okay, I'm just showing you the whole script. Okay. So are you seeing this whole script? Yeah. So now what I want to do is, remember you have a Windows machine and you have a Linux machine. Okay. So go to Windows machine. Okay. And then you can mount the connection, right? For that, it is very simple. Okay. So if I go to the overview of it, okay, click on connect. It tries to tell me that you can use this Z letter Okay, and the computer name is this, right? Now you can basically say in my computer, okay, go over here. This is a visual way of doing it. Map network drive and then finish. Okay, so Windows is unable to diagnose the connection. Why? Because you don't have a key. You don't have a sign in. Okay, so right. Okay, so if you want to do it visually, okay, then what you are supposed to do is go over here, copy this whole content, open the notepad, paste it over here. See what is he trying to do. This is what you are supposed to mount. Okay, now if I go over here, okay, and if I do this, it is connected. Am I seeing Z drive with test.txt? Yes. So in Windows it is very simple. You have to right click, okay, open this file, and you have to copy this path. You have to copy this path and then right click and then use it. Okay, am I clear on this? This is the first thing. If it is in a Linux machine or a Mac machine, go over here, copy this command, open a notepad plus plus, you can look at the whole script. The same thing happens, but here there will be something called as mount operation that happens. So just run the script in the case of Linux machine. So now, okay, create a file share with a quota of 1 GB. Mount it on Windows and Linux machines, whatever you have created. Am I clear on this? Yeah. If you have uploaded a file from an application to the file share, how can we reference it? No, sir. The problem is you have to for accessing any network drive, you will have some kind of a protocol which you have to do that. Yeah, it is a shell script for Linux. Okay, right. File sharing only supports premium, as we did. No, file share supports premium as well as standard. In the case of standard, you have to go with general purpose v2. In the case of premium, we have something called as file storage directly. We have file storage directly. Yeah. Okay. So will you do this activity before you end up in tomorrow's class, so that we'll discuss about what Azure file sync is? Okay. So then I can get into the storage accounts and blobs, and along with that blobs, we'll learn what the shared key is, what the access key is, and how to use all of that. Yeah. So please ensure you do this activity, right? Okay, guys. Can you do this activity? You have to just run that script. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So let me get into virtual machines. Okay. I'll delete some of the resource. Let it be, man. I don't have anything which will cost me. It's okay. All right. So I'll stop it at that. Okay. Thanks, guys. Thanks for your time. Okay. And as usual, these notes will be posted um, by 11 o'clock. And one more thing is, for some of you people who have registered to Azure, is there anyone in the room who has registered to Azure Challenges? Okay, if you have registered to Azure Challenges, I am not seeing any activity with respect to the Azure group and Azure group. Whereas AWS and DevOps group, there is a lot of activity. I think that is a shame. Okay, so please do that activity, right? Yeah, and whatever activities which I am giving over there, you can speak in your interviews. You can tell with those activities, right? So ensure that you try doing it. I'm not worried whether you will be successful or not again, right? So we'll learn how to make it success, but at least not attempting is a crime, and expecting an answers. For the people who don't give the answer there, I'll be removing them from the group anyway. Okay. For the people who give the answers, then if they do some mistakes, then I'll be helping them out with how do you do that. Okay. That is how it is going to be. Right. Thanks, man. Thanks for your time. Yeah. Okay. Shweta, have you finished the 3 topics of Azure? So for example, if you have finished identity and storage, if you have finished networking, and if you have finished the migrations, you can join that. But if you have not finished at least 3 topics out of 5 which we discuss in or at least 45 days of your course, I think you will not be eligible for that. Okay, right. So that's the only eligibility for that. You have to finish at least 45 days of your course. Okay, otherwise all the activities you will not be able to do there, and then it will not make any fun out of it. Right. Okay then. Thanks.